Check it out. Junior Mafia.
I like this.
Now phone. To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping Moet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, blunt passing, music lasting. But I just can't quit because one of these honeys Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benzes. See notes by the layers. True fucking players. Jump in the Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in the GS3. I got the chronic by the tree. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Why? Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Straight up, honey, really, I'm asking. Most of these niggas think they be macking, but they be acting. Who they attracting with that line? What's your name? What's your sign? Soon as he buy that wine, I just creep up from behind and ask you what your interests are. Who you be with? Things to make you smile. What numbers to dial? You gon' be here for a while. I'm gon' call my crew. You gon' call your crew. We can rendezvous at the bar around 2. Plans to leave, throw the keys to little C's. Pull the truck up front and roll up the next blunt so we can steam on the way to the telly. Gon' fill my belly. A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. Conversate for a few, cause in a few we gon' do what we came to do. Ain't that right, boo? Forget the telly, we just go to the crib and watch a movie in the jacuzzi. Smoke L's while you do me. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
How you living, Biggie Smalls?
In mansion and Benzes, giving ends to my friends and it feels stupendous. Tremendous cream, fuck $1 and a dream. Still tote gat strapped with infrared beams. Chopping O's, smoking line optimals, money holes and clothes, all a nigga knows. A foolish pleasure, whatever. I had to find the buried treasure, so grams I had to measure. However, living better now, coochie sweater now. Drop top BMs, I'm the man, girlfriend.
Honey, check it. Tell your friends to get with my friends. And we could be friends. Shit, we could do this every weekend. That's right. Alright? Is that alright with you? Yeah. Keep banging.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Check it out. Now folk shit for that ass. Puff Daddy, Biggie Smalls, Junior Mafia, represent baby.
Control the dance floor. Control the people.
Quiet! Introducing the man of the hour, Monster!
Don't want nobody beating up the dance floor, but I can hear They tell me there's something going on at the dome, but I can't hear that! Let's shut him down! Can you dig it?
Everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Back a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like a Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pain. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah.
Welcome to another edition of the Tell the Truth podcast. I'm your host, D. Taylor, and there she is. She's back to her normal self. And we have a different setup tonight. The producer wanted to try something different, and so we kindly obliged.
Never you say so.
We kindly obliged with what he thinks we should do, and that's what we did.
Y'all let us know if this works.
Yeah, let us know, because we probably won't be looking at y'all as much because we are here trying
It's okay,
to.
I get to stare into your beautiful eyes.
Yes. Who I'm big on the side view.
What?
I am big on the side view, Jesus.
I didn't even see what this was.
Yeah, you look
No, you're not.
super short.
I just, wish I am.
We might have to. Why is the background moving? Are you doing that?
Because it wasn't straight.
Oh, it still looks like the table is crooked.
They ain't crooked.
You know what? It's the camera. It's the way your camera. It's the way.
I know. I slanted it for a reason.
Okay, let him do.
Yeah.
It's.
But I just want to make sure everything was right. Everything was. Hey, Tati, how you doing? Welcome again.
Hey, girl.
It is so happy. I'm so happy to have consistent viewers.
You're so faithful, and I love it. And she was cranking out videos last. She put out 2 or 3 videos last week. She is on it.
It was 3.
It was 3. She
Is that
be
better?
on it. Yes, that's a little better.
A little bit better.
Well, no, you cut that out.
Yep.
Okay. So today, our beverage of the week is orange mimosa made. It doesn't even have a name. It's called orange. Made with fresh squeezed orange juice. A mimosa is self-explanatory, I think, but we got this from Aldi.
Back it up.
Turn 5 times to mix. Oh, so you're supposed to turn it up. Don't shake. You turn it like you rock it. Like a boat. But how much was that, sir?
That was $7.99 from Aldi.
$7.99. A whole $7.99.
A whole $7.99, and it's pretty tasty for a mimosa. So when you're doing your brunches at home for the next probably couple of weeks.
Shout out to our Fallen Sis brunch. Because we sure miss you. We sure miss a brunch. I know I do.
Brunch has left the building. And we're hopefully to get it back soon. Our main topic of the show tonight will be, are we ready to open up? After we talked about missing brunch, are we ready to open up? Funniest thing that happened today, in our mail, we had a letter.
Oh my God.
From 45. 45 mailed a letter to everybody that got the direct deposit, because if you got a check, his signature was on the check.
Couldn't have his name on the check because you got direct deposit, so he had to send you a letter.
He had to send you a letter. He wrote us a 4-page letter.
A 4-page.
And you know he did not write that letter.
He stamped it.
He stamped that thing. But he ain't right.
He stamped it, and I threw it right in file 77. That's where it went to. I shredded it, and it went away. And I made sure I washed my hands afterwards, because you just never know.
Nah, you never know.
You know.
You never knew.
Shout out to
Tony Baker. Shout out to Tony Baker.
He said, man, I cut his name off and shred. That's what I said. I tore it up in 1,000 pieces and then kept it moving. I don't know if I was supposed to keep the letter itself or not. That was a good idea if you just tore his name off there. I don't know.
I don't know. But
I don't need it. The direct deposit is proof enough that we got it.
That we got it. We good. We all right over here.
We all right over here.
All right over here. So, getting into some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, a litany of things before we go into are we ready to open up? Ooh, tongue twister.
It's that mimosa might have got you.
Nah, not yet. Put my glasses on for a second. Make sure I can read my paper and my notes that we have up here. So, this week, in the midst of all the verses that we have going on and what's going to be happening,
I'm so excited.
this week we had a comment by Mr. French Montana stating that he had more hits than Kendrick Lamar.
So somebody was trying to delve into this conversation, and they agreed with him in the sense that what he said was taken out of context. So he's speaking of, I think when he originally said it, I think he tweeted it, but when he originally said it, he was talking in the sense of radio hits. So when you talk about when the radio play the same 10 songs at the top of the hour.
And because people request,
right.
or the radio station has been paid off.
So as far as kitschy, like, hooks, stuff that probably made it to that top 10 list of what the radio plays in constant rotation, he may be correct somewhere along the lines, because Kendrick's albums were awesome and genius, but they're not gonna play all the Kendrick songs on the radio.
No, they're not.
They're not. And when you think about features and whatnot, 9 times out of 10, French in his features would have had more in that heavy rotation top 10 list. Now, we're not talking about in quality.
We're just talking about bops.
We talking about bops.
You know, one of the things that, because French puts a lot of stuff out there all of the time, and it's really not, it's no real lyrical content.
Right.
And so he don't have a lot of his own songs. He has a lot of I'm on somebody's song or somebody's on my song.
Right. And that was actually his comeback he tried to make. He was like, well, somebody came in and was like, you got mostly features. It's like Kendrick got a bunch of features too. But yes, when you go to his content on his album, those are hits. Like that stuff you can listen to. You can listen to at least 4 or 5 of the songs on the album and be good. I don't know about straight through, and I think we're going to shout out to Terrence that has a YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is awesome. I forget his last name, but he does all the gospel artists, and he had, since he's been quarantined, he didn't have a guest on there. I think it was last week or week before last. But he did his top 10 albums that you can play straight through. So that don't mean his favorite artist. It don't mean his favorite song. It means albums that you can play straight through with no skips.
That's a that might be.
So we might have to bite off that.
I know one of yours already.
What's that?
The Boys the Man joint.
Ooh, when you played that last week, that took me right on back. Because I think I did. I played that straight through. I had the tape.
Most of us had tape.
I had the tape. But that's the thing. Can I play your album without doing more than 2 skips? 2 to 3 skips.
I can name 2 right off the bat. Both of the Biggie joints that came out, and then the Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon, the chef. Okay. That's right off the bat. Those are mine.
You can play those straight through.
Yep, in the first move into the 36 channels.
So have you ever owned, downloaded, or streamed a French Montana album?
A whole album?
A whole album.
Nah.
That's what Tiana said her response. Who? That's her response.
French.
So, what about Kendrick Lamar?
I have downloaded. I've streamed the first. I got the first album on my phone.
On your phone.
But I didn't like the alcohol. The first single he came out with, I couldn't stand that joint.
That pull up.
Drink. Nope.
I did.
And it took me like 3 years to actually listen to what he was saying.
Yes.
To actually understand what the album was about. But the hook was so corny to me, I couldn't.
But again, that was a radio vibe.
It wasn't about the
that
music.
led you for the radio.
It
was.
led me to not really listening to Kendrick.
Really? It turned you off?
It turned me off from him until the Poetic Justice joint came out.
Okay.
Once the Poetic Justice, I was like, I had to listen to this young brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I think the conclusion has been made. Just proofing to put in French. Clarify your words next time.
Yeah.
Just
because one of the things we have to be so careful with media and media scrutiny, and especially print, or always get a copy for guests. I mean, for especially celebrities, get a copy of the interview, because what happens is a lot of people take the salacious soundbite or construe the soundbite or put the different words into your into a comment, and when they're writing a story, it makes it sound like something that is not.
Right. Yeah, I can get that. And that's why you need to. And he came back and said, okay, this is what I meant. But when you go off that first tweet or that first soundbite, you subject to get whatever the backlash is.
And people got time because they got time.
They got time. People
actually have time to be foolish.
So speaking of verses.
Oh, before we get into that. Okay, before we get into the next two. Upcoming verses that are in the talks was 3 6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I can't listen to that for more than
15 minutes.
10 minutes on either side. They had hits, but that's not
for
my
you.
wheelhouse, no.
What about the Diddy and the Dr. Dre?
I would listen to that for sure.
And thinking about the Diddy and Dre joint, will that bring up any ill will of the stuff that they had to go through?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was actually a podcast. Shout out to Slow Burn on Spreaker. I mean, not Spreaker, on Spotify. He did a whole Biggie Tupac podcast, like 10 episodes, going into all the things in the murder stuff. So, and now it's interesting that we're about to hear a Dre versus Puffy.
Now, will they just be playing their own material, or will they then delve into the stuff that they produced?
It's supposed to be like the producer battles.
Okay, so that's a lot.
That's a
long catalog.
Because remember, actually, Puffy did not really produce anything. He was the executive producer.
He was the executive.
He didn't do none of the music, though. He ran the label.
His name is on it.
Pete Diddy.
His name
that Pete Diddy in the Family joint, too? That might be a one you can listen all the way through.
And I always tell people, slept on, Diddy Dirty Money. Diddy Dirty Money. Slept on, seriously. I can listen to Last Train to Paris straight through.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good man. That's my hashtag every morning.
That Keisha Cole joint is on there. It's just so many hits. That was a good group of people.
That was a great group.
A great group of people. That I can listen to straight through, no problem. But we're gonna have that on the show maybe at some point. But top 10 songs you can listen to straight through.
Top 10 albums.
Albums.
Yeah. Do they still call them albums anymore?
I mean, they still make an album. Tiana said, like Tom Tucker's interview with Dustin Hoffman and Family Guy. Yes, completely sliced through all it, cut all the way up.
I didn't get that. I didn't see that.
You got to go back and see that. But it was sliced. So while we're speaking of in the vein of verses, coming up
next
May
Saturday.
9th.
Next Saturday, so we might be on earlier because we will be.
We got
to put the clothes on.
We got to put clothes on.
Get dressed for the living room. Like at Thanksgiving, you got to get dressed for the living room for this country. But look, I'm gonna talk to the camera right quick. Please, Erica and Jill, y'all make sure the sound right. Don't pull a part one of the Babyface Teddy Riley.
I'm telling you, and I said that last week, when Erica did the concert out of her bedroom It looked like her bedroom. She was sitting on the bed and she had the band in there or whatever. I mean, the sound was pristine, so I would assume somebody knows something.
But don't forget, Instagram. Sound ain't always right on the IG.
And those were live instruments.
Those were live instruments on there. Yeah.
They got it. I have faith in you ladies.
Oh, before we get delve deep into this EB Jilly from Philly, there was another versus battle most people didn't see. It was Cav on stage versus Tony Baker with a R&B battle. Men of R&B versus
when was that?
That was like Tuesday.
It was on their Instagram?
It was on their Instagram.
How did I miss that? I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Yeah. But Jill versus Erica. Jill versus Erica. Number one.
She said her sound in the bedroom was better than Teddy's in the studio. I told you. It was pristine.
So, out the gate, just Erica versus Jill, who do you think will have most success with this? Who do you think might win?
So,
out the gate.
Just as we are talking about that French Montana, he was talking about hits and bops, right? So that's what he tried to clarify and say what they would play on the radio. When you talk about B-side hits and stuff like that, we will know more of Jill Scott's than we would know Erica's. For those of us that are fans that listen to both all the way through, yes, we might know the whole catalog of music.
Man, look, let me tell you something.
That Mama's Gun was slept on.
That second Erykah Badu,
yes.
I can.
That was Mama's Gun.
That was the number one I can listen all the way through.
All the way through. But
it's like
for people that don't travel that way, they're going to be looking for stuff they've heard on the radio. And that's probably all they've heard and on and on. So when you think about radio hits, and I'm thinking Jill Scott can pull away. But even though both of them are ABs, but when you talk about common knowledge of songs, I think Jill has more knowledge. Now, that was completely visible when Erykah Badu did that concert. I don't know if you saw it. It was on TV. But she did a concert. I forgot for who. But she played a lot of stuff that was like acoustic, and then there was like B-side stuff. So even the audience was like,
they was bopping, but they ain't
know the words.
They ain't
you see what I'm saying?
know the words to the
So I think a lot of her stuff can get lost because it's not common knowledge to people, like Jill Scott's is. Now Jill Scott got some B-side stuff people may not know about, especially from them last 2 albums that she did. Like, I listen to those straight through. But you ain't hear but like 2 or 3 of those songs on the radio. So, I don't know.
Yeah, the New America album that she released, that was alright. And that was like 2010. The New America, the second one was alright. I kind of liked part 1, the New America. That was the one with Honey on it. Honey. I like that one. And that Worldwide Underground joint.
But what from that whole thing, what did they play on the radio?
The bop.
What was it?
Honey. Yeah,
that's it?
Yeah, Honey.
And what she had how many songs on there?
Because it was too deep. It was way
and she
too
had
deep.
how many songs on there?
It was 11 songs.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. So to me, there's really not a battle.
Wasn't this the album with the song where she was taking off all her clothes?
Window Seat?
That was Window Seat. Yeah.
Window Seat. That was on there?
That was on there.
Okay, so two.
Yeah. That was on the part 2 one.
Right.
That was on the part 2. So basically, she had 2 known hits with 22 songs on part 1 and part 2.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But that Mama's Gun and that Baduism,
they were nothing to be played.
They were nothing to be. But then Jill had some. Her last 2 albums really.
That's what I'm saying. If you exclude those, I love them. That last Jill Scott, oh my God.
The last one, the By Popular Demand joint.
Is that the one I'm talking about? Which
one?
Woman.
Woman.
I'm talking about woman.
Because she released 2 albums in 1 year.
Yeah.
Golden Moment and Woman.
Woman was my shot. I still listen to Woman.
See, I think Jill had Who Is Jill Scott and That Beautifully Human. And both of them had a live album.
Mm-hmm.
Experience, Jill Scott and Badu had a live album that was dope, that they put new music on a live album. How dope are you to play brand new music in front of a live crowd and they rocking with you?
And they still was like...
And they rocking with you. Yeah, The Light of the Sun really wasn't that great from Jill, that album.
But I can, I've seen Jill in concert.
Are they? And see, that's the thing. Are they just going to play the music?
That's what everybody else makes.
Or are they going to play the music? Perform.
That I don't know. Knowing them two, they just that extra they made.
Yeah.
They just may perform and put some. Either way, you right. We got to put on clothes. We got to grab one of these bottles and hang out.
And
hang out. You might have to open up the back door.
Get on the porch.
Get on
the porch.
So yeah, that's gonna be good, y'all. I can't wait. We gonna move on.
After the verses we are talking about, in the NCAA, which is the biggest crooks in America, disguising as a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like college sports and athletics and the way some of our kids can get a full-fledged education by getting scholarships, but these piranhas make billions of dollars off these children, these young people, and now they're just coming out with they're allowing kids to profit off their likeness and image, meaning now kids can run like football camps or basketball camps and charge people while they're running them.
Okay, and they can pocket the money.
The money. Or they also can do like advertisements for local dealerships or things of that nature. But and it all comes down to what has happened in the last couple of months or few weeks, that 3 of the top 10 basketball recruits have joined the G League, the NBA G League. Meaning that's the developmental league, because technically you can't go to the NBA unless you're 1 year removed from high school, which that in 2021, that rule is getting ready to be obliterated and dismissed. But now 3 of the top 5 have joined the G League. With the G League, you don't play the whole G League schedule. You play a traveling all-star team schedule. I think it's like 26 to 30 games. And they're giving kids $500K off the jump.
Okay.
Plus, you get to handle your own endorsement deals.
I mean,
and there's no cap to your
listen, to me, it was a must that they fall in line somewhere down there. Like, you can't keep profiting off these children and thinking somebody's not going to put their foot down and be like, look, this is me. I am my own person. My family is probably the most people that's going to look out for my best interest. You can't keep making billions of dollars off me, you and your institution, and I have no say-so in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as small as it may be, I'm sure eventually that is going to grow. They're going to have to open that door a little bit wider, because if you got this G League that's offering them, you got control over your own thing, and we're going to give you this money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's to keep me from going head over?
Yeah. And see,
then
they have to create a special compliance group to look over every contract these kids and all these schools signing to make sure that they are compliant with the new rules.
Too many hoops.
Too many hoops. And one of my biggest issues is this: the NFL should also have a developmental league that they should be able to run, and not just use college football as minor leagues. The baseball has minor league. Baseball got 3 minor leagues per 3 minor league teams per league. And then it's funny how we always saying we have to protect the black kids, where in other sports like tennis or soccer across the world, they're allowing gymnastics.
Right.
They're allowing kids to go pro like at 14
Right.
and 15 years
Straight out
old.
the bat.
So, and I
As soon
think
as you got the skill
soon
to
as you
show
got the
for it.
skill. And just like good, what I think is best for these kids that are supposed to be one and done, especially in basketball, is you already know that they're not there for school.
We here to play ball.
We here to play ball. And so now with the G League, the kids not only, and with this league, that's why they're not playing a full schedule, they're getting financial literacy tests, classes, and how to handle and how to seek agents and doing everything the correct way.
That's good.
The only issue I'm going to have with it is the agents, which are a lot of them are Vipers, they're going to be hitting up, they already hit up the AAU, but they're going to be particularly hitting up AAU and high school. And how much money are these high school coaches are going to be slid?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
And I'm
so-
sure that they being slid money now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, good luck to those people.
All right. Almost on our way to
Hey, Jamie. Is that Jamie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie.
hey, on our way. Oh, my mom ain't checked in tonight. On our way to talk about opening up. It was an article that came out this week that Amazon, Instacart, and Whole Foods workers in the New York, New Jersey area was going to hold a massive strike because they don't feel like they've been paid enough.
Well, Amazon been striking. They just came off a strike. Remember they fired the guy?
Yeah.
Because he led the strike, and then they still, they was like, well, we done fired y'all leader, so...
Cut off the head, the body.
Right. Y'all come on back to work and deliver these packages. But, I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, and at its bare minimum, we're going to have to finish that because the top is not, and I don't have a wine cork.
Yeah, we will. Just not on camera.
I mean, why not? It's ours. At bare minimum, these people are looking for safe conditions.
At bare minimum.
At bare minimum. Besides, if you push the money out the way, if you push the healthcare out the way, they don't want to come to work. We're in the midst of a pandemic. We still asking them to come to work, but their coworker next to them on the line, confirmed case of corona, but you ain't got no sick time, so I'm gonna need you to come on to work.
But see, and here it is now. That's how you know a lot of people don't read or a lot of jobs keep information from people. Because the government gave people at least 2 weeks of sick time, 14 days, that you had, that your HR professionals had to put in.
Had
to put in. So if you are sick or have been around somebody with the COVID, you're supposed to, according to the law, get those times off.
Obviously, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
Yes, Jamie, cheers.
Jamie, you just joined us. $7.99. Aldi's. It is delicious.
But bare minimum, and I don't understand why it's a problem. They just asking you. Bottom line is, give my coworker their 14 days, pay them for it, and then I'm gonna keep working because I feel safe and at ease. I'm gonna give you what you need, and then when they come back, they're gonna be well and healthy. They're gonna keep working for you. How does this ruin your production?
Yep. Well, Amazon already has a rough reputation as far as people dying in the warehouse because fatigue and having to do all this stuff all the time and not having no days. Because most of the time, they're not most of the workers that work in that warehouse and all that are not direct employees of Amazon.
Right.
They are temp
contractors.
Contractors, temp agencies. So
I mean, somebody always gonna be looking for some work, and that's sad to think that if I take care of myself and I pull myself out of work and I take the hit from getting paid, that you gonna hire somebody to take my spot on this line.
And that goes back to the American greed. And as we beginning to start talking about opening up, are we opening up because the country is broker than what it claimed to be?
Yes,
or are we opening up because we think it's safe.
We're going to get to that
Okay.
in a minute. Are we done with the everything else?
Almost. Shout out to Walmart though. Walmart in Virginia. I don't know if it's every state or company wide. The Walmarts in Virginia have given a total of bonuses. I don't know how many Walmarts there are in Virginia, but they're giving total bonuses to all their employees, and that totaled up to $5 million. Wow. That's $5 million.
And we also learned today that Trevor Noah is paying the cast and crew of
The Daily Show
out of his pocket because they got furloughed.
They got furloughed.
I mean, that's crazy.
It is. Huh? Trevor Noah.
No, what is that?
The Daily Show?
No, the
furlough. Oh, furlough means we haven't fired you. You still work for this company, but you're not getting paid.
We're going to lay you off.
Yeah, we lay you off without pay. And then when we hopefully start back up,
you can get your job
back.
The sad thing is, it's without pay.
It's without pay.
And a lot of times, and you living in New York, but New York did put a moratorium on rent and mortgages for the next 90 days.
Well, hopefully that helps somebody.
Yeah, hopefully.
Shout out to Queen Bee and Megan Thee Stallion for their redoing Savage and adding
it was
just as most people, I'm not gonna say me, just as TikTok ruined Megan Thee Stallion Savage because people got sick of it because of the dance and whatnot. Here come Queen Bee putting a stamp on it, and they said she was spitting verses. We always knew she had a little bit. She had a little bit in her.
But
she didn't write that. She didn't write that.
I believe she did.
Oh, you know what? I ain't gonna say that.
I ain't ready to say it.
I ain't gonna say that because I don't want y'all boycotting our show.
But her voice didn't match the beat.
It did. Please, there is no Beyonce bashing here.
I mean, I think it was overhyped. That's me personally.
But have you heard it?
Yes, I've heard it.
Have you listened to it lyrically?
It is overhyped. It sounds like Jay-Z wrote it to me.
I don't know. He may have had a hand in it, but I don't put it past her. If you listen to Lemonade, like that's her all day, and it puts me in the frame of mind of that. So shout out to those girls.
That probably which her sister probably wrote it.
Solange also may have had a hand in it. Regardless, she delivered.
It's Beyonce. She's going to deliver, but I just think it's overhyped.
And good thing the city of Houston has now given them both a day. They have the keys.
Ho! I can understand Beyonce getting the thing.
Megan deserves a day.
Nah, bro.
Megan deserves
You've been in the game
day.
less than you've been.
She has worked.
You have been relevant for less than 5 years.
You don't think her cadence is Houston made? Like she is along the lines of those.
Do Pimp C got a day?
Yes, he does.
Does 8 Ball?
They all have days.
Pimp C got a day.
Pimp C has a day.
UGK got a day.
I believe he does.
Slim Thug got a day.
I'm not sure about Slim Thug.
Paul Wall got a day.
Paul Wall is not.
Man.
Paul Wall has a business selling his grills. He has
Paul Wall was man.
He has all the days. So
So they gave Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion a day at the same time.
Yes.
That's crazy to me. Megan should have waited in the back of the line for at least another year and a half.
Talk to those officials. The girls had nothing to do with it.
They just trying to make headlines. That's all they trying to do.
They saw an opportunity and they jumped headfirst onto it. And I would not blame them. You know, those mayors and governors and whatnot, they know when the iron is hot. And they jump right on. You look like you are fed up because they got a date.
I just don't. Megan has not really had the accolades as far as.
But you can't. Sis has worked.
I'm not putting down her work.
Okay.
What I'm putting down is the fact that you get a day the same time Beyonce get a day.
I see what
that ain't right to me. Beyonce been in the game for at least 15 to 20 years
I see
now.
What you're saying. What's the word I'm looking for? when somebody has been there for a long time.
Longevity,
or
and she ain't got that. And as we know with rappers, you can fall off tomorrow.
That's true.
But she got a day.
That's what those people decide to do.
UGK. So they put her on the.
Sorry to those men if they didn't get a day yet.
They put her on the same level as UGK. Man, you got to be kidding me.
Shout out to Meg and Queen Bee. Okay, so in today's actual topic, are we ready to open up? And like the preachers of great said, we are not going to be before you long. We've already been on here for a minute. But we just want to get, for those, 3 people that are tuned in. Well, I'm one.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm not.
Yes. So those that are tuned in, get your opinion and hear our opinion on whether you think we are ready to be let off punishment. If we are ready to open up these cities and open up the world and perform work as usual and be out and about in the world doing what we did in February.
We can actually have a funky good time.
When we were out and about. When we thought we were living our best life. And it turns out, hey, you weren't. Because now it's going to be even better because you're not going to take that for granted anymore. Because it can be taken away from you.
In a blink of an eye.
And I don't think that was the crazy part about it. I think most people did not realize that.
How much they needed people.
Right. How much you need people and how much you need to be out and about just to be out and about. Yeah. Not even doing nothing.
Just to be able to go into a restaurant, sit down and enjoy a meal. Because yesterday we went out to, because people tired of cooking in the house. We went out to get something to eat and every drive-through was
spilling out of the parking lot.
Spilling out.
Every single drive-through, you name it. Captain D's, Arby's, Popeyes, Bojangles, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is just another day.
I agree. So Chick-fil-A is like that every day. But you name it, and they were all lines around the corner twice. Because people are tired of cooking. So we've taken some things for granted. But do you all think that we are ready to be reintroduced or socialized again?
My personal opinion, I say yes.
You do?
I say yes.
Okay.
I say yes from, number one, the mental health standpoint of it. Also, yes, from the fact that I know a lot of people, I'm not taking for granted the death toll that has come from this virus. But I also believe they are not sharing all the healing numbers with us. And the people that are getting better and the people that are coming out of the hospital and getting back to society. Just like you said with the Amazon worker that was that might have been contracted the virus, and then once he spends 14 days, are they going back and asking people, have you re-entered the workforce? Are they using that data to say, yeah, you got it, but after 14 days, you're good? What are they doing to assuring us, or why aren't they reporting that on the front pages of things?
My opinion is no, we're not. Regardless of what they are releasing to the public. So say, for instance, you got thousands of people, which you do have, that are healed, recovered from this virus. Great. That is awesome. Say you don't have those numbers. We don't know. We lay people. We're not going to search for that. We're not looking for the research in it. We know a few people that may have recovered. But there is not enough education from the doctors. I saw a doctor the other day reporting that he was like, when you go outside before it's time, and you're not caring about a soul next to you or behind you or in front of you, So you contract the virus, and then you come into the hospital and let us essentially play guinea pig on you because we don't know. There's not enough research that's going to tell us. Just like the flu, you think from one season to the next you can't catch it again. So you could recover from it today, go back outside and be not social distance from somebody else and catch it again. So we gotta wait for you to recover that again. So I think too much is too fast.
Too much is too fast. Opening up gradually, I believe, is what's going to happen. Now, as far as public gyms, I don't think they should be opened up because the fact that you're going to have multiple people, unless in most gyms do not have the staff. Every time somebody put down a weight, somebody clean up a weight. They don't have that.
Not on a regular basis.
High touch areas need to really be limited. But I'm seeing a lot in like some of the states that have opened up. That have opened up, saying it's 25% capacity. So if your building can hold 100, you only can have 25 people in there. I think something like that might can do it. But like as a restaurant, number one, it's going to force restaurants to get food out quicker.
That's true.
And they're going to be like, yo, we need, you can't just, they don't want to put you out, but you have to understand they need to turn the table.
I think it'll be a long while before we try to get there. Sitting down in a restaurant, I wouldn't. As much as I want brunch, I wouldn't even be comfortable sitting for long periods of time because nobody has changed their ventilation system. So you mean to tell me, and I hate to be this morbid about it or down about it, but somebody that potentially has it, they are asymptomatic, and you sneeze and not into your sleeve or in your hand, and those particles travel up through the air conditioning system, and now it's all over the restaurant. So any number of people. So I think about stuff like that. Tiana said, her mom said that some folks we know are traveling out of town. And I just watched somebody's Instagram today. She was like, I'm going, got my ticket ready, going to such and such place for my birthday. And she's traveling outside of the country. So people are maneuvering as if this is not happening already. So you got people out there before we even say, hey, the world is open back up. And so you got people that may be potentially already out there. So when the rest of us come to join, it's going to get spread all over again. And here come wave number 2.
Well, I do believe we're going to have a second wave. I don't think it's going to be as drastic as the first wave is. And for the simple fact is this. I know both of us are still at the point we're still making a living. We're still decent. If you won't get in a check, and a lot of people that they said they was up in the unemployment, they was getting this, they was getting that. But a lot of people that filed for unemployment still haven't seen it yet. Right. Would your mind change when you can't pay your bills?
I understand the need to work.
No, but I'm just asking, would your mind?
No.
Okay.
No, I have been out of work before and collected an unemployment check, and I know what that. I know.
But they not processing it the way. Okay.
I know what that feels like. And it's a heavy burden to bear, especially when you have a household of people. So it's not like it's not like I'm remiss as to what that feels like. But what I'm saying is, my logic is, would I rather be working and afraid, or at home and afraid of the financial break? So both are a burden. One, I can die. If I'm at home,
go ahead. If
I'm at home and I'm fretting about finances, there is going to be a way. Like, I ain't never been no stranger to hustling. So I can't come at that from that angle.
So we talking about you're not afraid to hustle, but what are you hustling now? What is going to be the the way you gonna make money if people are not doing it.
Well, I have several ways I can make money.
No, in the lanes that we got going on, because a lot of times and I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about the entire country, or the we look at this thing. If we really clock and see how many people have traveled in and out of our grocery stores, and do you think the grocery store is safer than going to your office?
No.
Exactly.
No, I don't.
Do you think I understand a restaurant and sitting down in a restaurant, but even if you go into this restaurant and pick up, and if somebody if it's in the ventilation system, it's in the ventilation
And
system.
either way, yeah, that's why it's like.
So,
and even my office is not. Is saying my personal office is saying like we're not gonna be fully functional until around June or July. So to me, that's the smart thing to do.
mm-hmm.
Not tomorrow, not next week, not the month of May.
I would say it like this, because I know probably in the next two weeks that Virginia is gonna be opened up, and it's gonna be opened up because of the pressure,
right?
Because Georgia, Florida, and Texas are all red states,
right?
And they're opening up, and they're about to gain a lot of funds because people are back at work.
Mm-hmm.
Companies might be pushing work to these states to hire people. And what if you don't open up in the next 2 to 6 weeks? Your state might just be terribly crippled because people aren't working, and because the federal government, after this second stimulus that they're gonna give, what they're gonna do, people might not. The federal government don't even have the money, like talking about, to do it again. So what there do you? I say we can choose not to go into places and do it like that. But as a business owner, I would want the state to open back up. Because now, if that's my only business, and my business is dealing with my customers, and I don't have customers, I can't survive. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my rent.
Yeah, I get that. But the question is, are we ready? And I just don't think so. As a business owner, you got to do what you got to do to survive, and that's fine. Me, I ain't going to be right till probably next year sometime. I mean,
I guess I'm going to Jamaica by myself.
I mean, hey, they ain't letting us in no how. They don't trust us. I don't think Jamaica will have us. I think they're going to turn us around at the door.
No, thank you for your money.
No worries,
you gotta go back.
Goodbye.
All right, goodbye.
I don't think Jamaica will have us. So.
And we're talking about entertainment purposes and going out and kind of being civil or whatever. So here it is. We're looking at this thing now. Universal Studios released Trolls to video on demand, and they made over $100 million in the first weekend of video on demand. And they made an announcement and saying, we're going to try to simultaneously release movies, video on demand, and in the theaters. But with that, AME Theaters and Regal Theaters said they are not going to be, they basically boycotting Universal Studios. What's your thoughts?
I can see why. Because.
See why for who?
I can see why AMC is boycotting Universal. Because to them, Universal has both hands in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
So you want the AMC theaters to run your movie as well as getting money from streaming. So we're not going to get a whole lot of people in here when they can sit at home and watch it, number one. Number two, you're going to get money from streaming and for the other people that want to come into the movie theater. So we're not reaping a whole lot of benefits. Either we're not going to get the money at all or we're going to get small amounts of it. Mm-hmm. So AMC has the right to be upset. But at the same sense, Universal is like, all right, we trying to reach the people and get the money wherever we can. And so since most people, we just talked about like the way I'm feeling, no, I'm not ready to be acclimated into regular business hours. I'm not going to a movie theater.
I won't be going to a movie.
I'm not going to a movie
The
theater.
only movie theater I might be going to is the small one that's
The
around
small one.
the corner from us.
And we're not gonna name it because a bunch of y'all
Gonna show
but,
up. Yeah.
But so if it's something I really want to see, and if Universal gave me the option to stream it, of course I'm gonna stream it at home where I can sit in my pajamas and I ain't gotta move.
And I can buy my $3 bag of microwave
a whole
popcorn.
box of microwave popcorn. If I feel the need to.
And we all know that movie theater popcorn just hit different.
It does. It's
but you can go to Target right before you start
they
watching.
have the little things and the shakers. No, but they have the shaker. They sell the shaker seasonings.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can go to Target and get your same movie theater fix.
Yeah, as he said, AMC is going to lose bank.
Yep.
To boycott a whole studio is not smart. There are those who will do both and others who will do only one. And I think that's the case too. That's playing devil's advocate. I think that's silly because you have people that will do both. Yeah, I seen it at home, but it's just that good and I'm going to go enjoy it at the movie theater.
To be truthful and honest with you, I prefer action films at the movie theater
because of the sound.
Because of the sound, even though we got a nice little setup here, but it is the movie theater experience with like the Marvel movies and basically comic book movies, Star Wars, Marvel, things of that nature. But any other movie, I can watch that thing at home.
That's true. Any
other movie, I'm good because it's not that cinematic approach to it. As far as like, what was the movie we wanted to go see? What was the last? I think the last movie that wasn't a Marvel or Star Wars movie probably was The Hangover 2.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe. You said that wasn't a Marvel?
Yeah, that we went to the movies to go see.
Yeah. Oh, what did we go see with the cousins?
Queen and Slim.
That was the last movie.
But if I could have got that on video on demand, I would have watched it that way as well.
I'm not buying a single digital movie when I have Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus. Plus, I like the movie experience, so I'll be back in theaters around September 2021. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Look, let me tell you something. Just because I'm watching it at home, because I have Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, I pay for all those. So I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to pay for a video on demand movie. 9 times out of 10. But I'm gonna turn on my surround sound because I got a sound bar with a woofer with a bass tube, and I got concert speakers in here if I needed to add more sound. So.
Well, we said we're not gonna be before y'all long, and Real is napping, and he has some editing to do. But we gonna leave y'all with this last segment. I think I've named it. Who is tap dancing on your nerve? I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Y'all disappointed me at this beautiful beauty supply closeout sale. Now, Beautiful has taken over this city. For those of you who listen elsewhere, Beautiful is a beauty supply store. And they sell everything except for the kitchen sink. They might gather that at some point. I'm not sure. But there's one on the east end of town, well, north side. And then there's two on this side of town, which is the south part of the city and the county.
South side.
So the one location is like, nah, that's too small. We gonna take over the old skating rink. And so,
because the one on the north side took over a whole car dealership.
A car dealership. So this explains how big they are. So somebody let the cat out the bag and said, hey, we having a store closeout sale. The beauty supplies are half off for us to move next door. And oh boy, you niggers showed up and lined the block trying to get half off bundles. No social distancing in sight. Just to save a dime or so. And I thought about it when somebody announced it on a discount page I'm on Facebook. I was like, ooh, maybe I ought to go check that out. Then they sent pictures of the line that was outside. And y'all was up on each other having conversations because I'm sure they were only letting 10 people or so in the store. But it was massive. It was a lot of you. It was so many of you. And I could not. I understand it, but I don't. I try to save a dime because I used to coupon, and I need to go back to that. I try to save a dime wherever possible. But in the middle of a pandemic, I don't know if bundles are my priority where I need to save the dime on. I got these, and for those of you who follow my Facebook page, you saw my bucket O'Hare, and I think I got something in there I can pick from that's free. I paid for a long time ago, but I can pick from it. And if I can't, I'm not gonna need it for now. That's just point blank and simple. So the people, they got y'all food because they're gonna go next door and open the store up, and then probably add on the extra $2 or $3 from the ones they sold you a couple of months prior to. So I'm just saying, we got to think about these things. Shout out to all the few and far between black-owned hair beauty supply stores. I need y'all to come quick with those, because something ain't right, and y'all lined up around the corner. So that who is tap dancing on my nerves this week? Is there anybody in particular
that's tap dancing on my nerves?
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. As much as I love going to work, and I missed it the 5 days that I could not go to work. Please, when you go to work, do not talk about work to people that just walked in the door. They ain't clocked in yet. They ain't
always
got
a 15-minute
threshold. It's a 15. Man, just give me 5 minutes. I might be good. 5 to 15 is the threshold before you talk to me about this work job. Let me clock in.
You say good morning. Let me situate myself in my office or wherever my work
Let
space
me set my lunch down and take that back there to.
And then your questions can
Yeah. Let people get comfortable, get regulated. And I know a lot of you going back to work in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we want to just let you know. Don't talk about work as soon as people die to do. Say hello. Is your family okay? Just checking in on you before you start talking about work. I got 2 people that said they like the other way when we facing the camera.
Oh, do you?
Than us facing each other.
So we might have to
take it back.
Okay. Well, good night, guys. Thanks you. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in again this week. We will definitely try to see y'all again next week.
And we're gonna have to see y'all early because the show starts.
We're gonna be in the verses. We're gonna be at the show dressed and ready. We might have to come on here dressed and ready. But please subscribe, like, and share. We'd appreciate it. Sharing with y'all friends. Don't forget our wine or beverage of the week. And
you can use !songs and then space, whatever song.
Use !songs and then space and then include the song. Is that right, Real? Yes. Please do that. All right, peace, y'all. Anything else you got to say?
I have nothing. I'm good. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Please like, subscribe, and share to our podcast. We're trying to make this thing. We're trying to monetize this thing so we can. If we get paid to do this, y'all might see us every night.
Not me. You might be on here.
I might be on here every day like Trevor Noah.
Okay. You gotta stop being real out your pocket. All right. Good night, y'all. Peace.
Go.